The FAI we're stuck in a very difficult position with this. Obviously, because Declan Rice did play and was the best player for Ireland.
And you knew this was going to happen. You could have said, in the case where he's no longer eligible for this because he's no longer an Ireland international, then we have a backup which is no award, or we give it to the second place. Because you knew it was going to happen.
So you think what we should have said was, oh, whoever, O'Dowd or Robinson, whoever it may be, was the young player of the year, and people will go, oh, what about Declan Rice? He played. And we go, well, actually, we picked him, but we were forced to change our mind.
Not forced to change your mind. You predicted what was going to happen.
I didn't want to change my mind.
But
I think the award, I do think that the integrity is he was the best player for Ireland in 2018. Simple as that.
Yeah, but like, who cares? Do you know what I mean? It's like, who cares? This is a guy who's decided he doesn't want to be part of this anymore. And like, you know, it seems a little bit psycho ex-boyfriend to me, where you're like, you know,
well, it's
sliding
not
into his DMs going, hey, I've got this award for you, Declan.
We were still just about together, certainly on our side when we took the vote.
All right, stay with us, Nathan.
We hadn't heard from him in a while, but we certainly still thought we were in a relationship.
Yeah, well, you misinterpreted that, didn't you? Stay with us, Nathan. We've had a caller. We don't normally take callers on this show.
Here we go. Let me guess.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning. How are you keeping, lads? I'm just up this morning, just watching, listening. Oh God, it's just reverberating rubbish. Really, that's the way that I see it. Nathan, can I ask you one thing? In September, when he turned the call up down, in September. So that's it. That's it. He said then it was never ever going to end happily after that, was it? So you're saying you made the vote you had the vote in November. It was done then. That was it.
What was
in
January?
It wasn't done in September.
What was in January, Kev?
It wasn't done in September.
Sorry.
It was done for you. It was done for you. It was done for you in September.
It was done for anybody who knew anything about human life and relationships. He's a teenager who's given us the slow, steady breakup, as opposed to having the balls to rip it off. He knew then what we all knew then.
Exactly, it was done then. So surely when you were talking about that in January, surely that must have been the case then to say, well, hang on, lads, we might need to actually go back and have this conversation, even with the FAI further down the line, to say, well, look, this could cause problems. Surely that conversation was had, regardless of what happened on the pitch, because this situation now arises where it is embarrassing, isn't it? It is embarrassing. No matter what we say, it's embarrassing.
Kevin, was Declan Rice Ireland's best young player last year?
But that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because he's not Irish now. He's not even an Irish player now, is he?
That is the only question that's been asked.
Well, I just think it just makes us. It is embarrassing. No matter what you say, it's embarrassing.
Yeah,
I'm not embarrassed.
Really?
No, we answered the question that was asked. Declan Rice was the best young player.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
You did know in your heart of hearts that he wasn't going to play for Ireland again, though, right? Like, that's the truth. You did know at that stage. And you walked the FAI, as a group, you've walked the FAI into this situation where they're like, oh, look, this isn't really anything to do with us. Yes, it is our award ceremony, but we outsource this to give ourselves, an arm's length distance from it. And these guys over here have walked us into this, and they're not embarrassed. And they're sticking on this technicality that it was like, oh, on the field of play, he was the best player. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe he was, and maybe there is no case for anybody else, but
No, at no stage last January when we were having these discussions did the FAI say there was any issue with nominating Declan Rice. None whatsoever.
But you guys didn't spot him.
Obviously not. We nominated him. So obviously we didn't spot a problem.
Did you have that conversation? Did you have that conversation that, look, this could blow up in our faces further down the line?
Yeah, no, we did. We obviously discussed what would happen if Declan Rice decides between now and March 17th, and it was the first international, so everyone was expecting a decision. But our feeling was that we were being asked to judge on what happened last year, not what might happen in the future. So it was simple. And Ger, I think there's a lot of revisionism going on your behalf here.
Yeah.
Everybody knew in January that Declan Rice was definitely going to England.
Everybody knew in September, Nathan. Everybody knew in September.
We said it on the show that you'd need to be brain dead to think that he's going to put us on a long finger and then come back to us. Like, it was textbook teenage behaviour where it's like, oh, It's not you, it's me. That's all bollocks. We knew straight away. Once you turn down the opportunity to play, that dude is not coming back. That's not revisionism. That's exactly what I was saying
change of
on
management.
this show.
There could have been a different atmosphere in the camp.
That was all nonsense.
Were there literally not headlines in the papers back in January that it looked as though Declan Rice was going to declare for Ireland?
Yeah.
I mean,
that the soundings were good.
Forgive me for not believing every headline in the paper. Forgive me for not believing every headline in the paper when clearly this is something that helps to sell papers. The speculation around Declan Rice's future is the type of thing that we all pick up the paper to see. Like, it was a perfect newspaper story, and I don't know if anybody who had very well sourced stories can stand over them now that says, yeah, it does look like he's going to play for us because, you know, he had a last-minute change of heart, even though Gareth Southgate had been seducing him the whole time in the background. I don't think there's any revisionism going on, I have to say. But look, you guys...
Why, can I just say, I think I heard you mention before as well, why wasn't the award just scrapped, though? Surely that would have been an easier scenario for everybody. It would have taken away this embarrassment. Fair enough, if the vote's gone in, but, you know, what I would have thought even in January would have been ridiculous to vote for him at that stage as it is. But why on earth wasn't the award just scrapped? Because that surely to me would have been a perfect scenario. Because realistically, it wouldn't have gone unnoticed, but it wouldn't have been a big situation. It wouldn't necessarily have been a big thing if that award's just scrapped on the night.
Look, that was the FAI's decision. They're the FAI's awards night. It's up to them what awards they present on the night. They obviously decided that they wanted to release a statement saying he had won it and try and get ahead of the story. As I said, maybe they looked at it from the position of people notice on the Sunday night, the team and squad are getting together on the Monday and it becomes a story early next week.
But you guys would have run that story. Like, in fairness, that's the bit where that's where you do have some power to say, yeah, okay, fair enough. Now, in retrospect, if they'd come to you and said, we don't feel like it's appropriate to award somebody who is an English player the best young Irish player of the year, considering he's now an English player, what would your reaction have been at that point?
If they said they didn't want to present the award?
Yeah.
I have no problem with them not presenting the award. It's obviously a extremely unfortunate situation that our best young player of 2018 is getting the award in 2019 when he's now an English player.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one thing back on the original thing you meant there, Nathan, just regarding the stories that were breaking that he was going to come and play for us. It was never on the cards. It was never on the cards. It was done then, and I never once believed as soon as he'd had that, or he turned the call up down in September, he was ever going to come back. And regardless of what was being reported, it was never on the cards. In a million years was that going to happen. So that is where I think that how on earth could that vote have gone through, or how could he have been voted for when it was as it had been looked. It looked on in the general scheme of things. It was going to be a 50-50 call when it was never a 50-50 call. It was never on the cards after that initial announcement was made in September. Never.
So if we have a scenario this year where later in the year we have 3 or 4 friendlies and somebody comes in and is exceptional, but could possibly play for England, but hasn't decided either way, we shouldn't give them the award.
Well, if he turns down an international call-up, you don't give him an award. If you're called up for your country that you're so proud to play for and then you say no, then how can you be selected for the award?
That's
because he was the best player on the pitch in the games that he played.
Yeah, but then he turned us down. Then he left us.
I think that's irrelevant, sure. I really think that it is just
irrelevant. Owen, come on.
But I think
he said he doesn't want to play for us anymore.
I agree that Nathan's point about there being one piece of criteria to judge this on is true. The best young player for Ireland last year was Declan Rice,
who's no longer an Ireland player.
Doesn't matter.
It does. He's turned us down. He's no longer an Ireland player.
He played the games.
He did, and then he left.
It happened.
And then he took his ball and he went home. It's like, yeah. Come here, Kev. Give us a winning tip for the day, please, at Cheltenham. A winner.
More nonsense from Kilbane.
It's been a bad day. Joseph O'Brien's in the bumper today. That's the one. Joseph O'Brien's in the bumper. I fancy it.
Yeah, I like that too. He's put tonic on it. Lads, good stuff. Thanks very much, Nathan. Before I let you go, are Liverpool going to do it tonight? Jurgen Klopp's very pissed off at the moment, particularly with the Man United pundits in the media.
Yeah, you just look at their last couple of away games at Everton and Manchester United. 2 scoreless draws. Really struggle to get their midfield involved in those games at all. They just need to take their chances. That they're only going to get, you'd imagine, at the Allianz Arena a couple of chances, and they haven't been taking them away from home. They haven't been clinical enough. If Salah is on form, I think they'll win. But if they miss their couple of chances, they could be in a bit of trouble, because I think I wouldn't be surprised if Bayern score.
Yeah, Bayern very annoyed as well. 3 of their star players dropped by Jogi Löw from the international team, including Mats Hummels, who's only 30. And I don't know, there's a beautiful bit of man management going on from Jurgen Klopp saying, these guys should all be playing for Germany. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I think this time 12 months ago, if Liverpool had met Bayern at this stage, you would have strongly fancied Liverpool, because playing against the better teams suited them, because they'll come out, as Bayern will tonight, but they were so good at the counter-attack. They were so good at the press in midfield. They just haven't been quite at that level over the last couple of weeks. I've been able to put that sort of pressure on opposition teams when they're in possession away from home. If they can get back to that, I think that'll be the key for Liverpool. They need whoever starts in midfield to be the outstanding players, not to give Bayern a second on the ball, but I would have Bayern as favourites, I think.